It's been almost 1 year since my summer 2021 LEGO Star Wars predictions, and of course I'm here today with my summer 2022 LEGO Star Wars predictions. If you guys are hyped for summer of 2022, make sure you hit the like button and let me know what your predictions are for summer of 2022 in the comments below. But we have a lot of sets coming out in the summer, and unlike last year's predictions video, which was completely based on my mind, this has a bit more reason to it given that we actually have prices. So I'm going to predict all 12 known LEGO Star Wars summer sets, and I should be able to give a little bit of rationale behind why I'm picking each. That doesn't mean it's what LEGO is going to do. Unlike a sports game, this is not a 50-50 prediction. This is more of like a 1% chance I'll get anything on this list right type of prediction, but these videos are all in good fun. So let's get into it. Our first set of the summer, 75323, $160. And this is a weird one because usually the set numbers start low and cheap and then get higher. But as you can tell, this particular set number is so far off the tracks from the rest of the set numbers. And that leads me to believe one thing with this particular set. You see, for the January lineup, we have set number 75320, the Hoth Battle Pack, and 75322, the Hoth ATST, leading us to believe 75323 would be the next of kin in that kind of lineup of sets there. It would be a more expensive set for the January wave, but for some reason it got taken from the January wave, that set number did, and put into the summer wave. So my guess on this is that it was originally going to be a $60 or $70 Hoth set in January, but for whatever reason it just got too expansive and they wanted to do too much with it, and then they decided, let's just go full hog in the summer because we can't release a $160 set in January. They just don't typically do that, and so they pushed it to summer, and they're coming out with a $160 Hoth set. That is my prediction for that one. It would come with the Echo base door. We would finally get the white turrets because we don't have any of those currently available. I think we could definitely see a Tauntaun included. I would love to see a rebuild of that original battle pack build with that speeder. I think that would be an excellent thing to have included. I also think a snow speeder would be included in the set, and then we could possibly see a Hoth shield generator. It would basically be a smaller version of the 2016 UCS Hoth. So take away a lot of like the Wampa cave and, you know, downscale the Echo base door, and that's kind of what we're working with. And maybe they'll actually get the Hoth generator accurate this time with all 4 generator bits. And because it's a Star Wars set and not a Harry Potter set, if this was a Harry Potter set for $160, you'd probably get 10 minifigs, maybe 12. But it's Star Wars, so I'm going to put 8 minifigs on it, most of which being Hoth Rebel troops, because those are just sorely lacking from the current lineup, minus the 1 we get in the Hoth ATSD and the 3 that we end up getting in that minifig pack. But we need another big general consumer Hoth set to go with everything else for the Empire. The next in set number order is 75331, and it's $530. But essentially what I'm looking at here is that this is definitely going to be the big direct-to-consumer set of 2022. And we have a trend currently where every other year LEGO goes from making big playset to big display set. And most recently our big display set this year was the AT-AT, which leads me to believe that next year should be another year of big playset. And they've done the Death Star, they've done Cloud City, they've done Mos Eisley, and there's a couple options on the table, but at $530, I believe it really takes off anything prequel. LEGO has no desire to release anything prequel that expensive. There is no way I can see that happening until it does. I can't bet on that until it happens. It would be like betting against the Patriots when Tom Brady was in New England. You just don't do it. And so I've seen a lot of fans really thinking, oh, it could be a Geonosis Arena or Camino or a Venator, and it's like, no, we all know it's not going to be those things. I know we can all be happy and have fun thinking that for 3 months, but I'm just not going to do that. So it's not going to be those. There's no way. If I'm wrong, I'll give away 2 of them. If it's a Geonosis or a Camino build or a UCS Venator, I will happily give away 2 of them. Hold me to my word on that. But I certainly predict that it will definitely be something original trilogy, and at that it will be a playset. And one of the more likely options would have been Hoth. Obviously, I've already predicted Hoth as a $160 playset, so we're cutting that out. And that basically leaves us with Endor, to me, as the just lock-in answer for what this Master Builder series set is going to be. Endor is something that hasn't been done for about a decade now. They haven't done the Endor bunker since 2009. The last Endor big set they did was the Ewok Village in 2013. Now at $530, they could certainly include part of the Ewok Village, but I'm kind of expecting less Ewok Village, more Endor bunker. So more in the style of that 2009 set. So I'm thinking the bunker, maybe an ATST included, definitely some scout troopers on speeder bikes. We got to have more scout troopers, more stormtroopers, more rebel troopers. Of course, probably 20 to 25 figures in this set. So you name them, they're probably there. And I think we get 2 trees with the swinging logs that destroy the ATST. I think that's such an iconic scene in Return of the Jedi that they would recreate. And as much as I would like it, there's 2 things here that they could do that I think they can only do one or the other, but $530 is a lot of room to play with. So maybe we end up getting both. I really want to get that shield generator dish that we see on Endor. And I would even more so like to see in a set like this, the landing pad for the Imperial shuttle. We have an available Imperial shuttle. You can pair it with this set and have it use the landing pad. We have the $200 or $160 AT-AT that could size up perfectly next to the landing pad. Maybe. It just, theories here, things working, and maybe it works. So just some ideas, and I think the set is going to be Endor, that $530 set, and it's going to be a killer one. Now, we all know 2022 is the 20th anniversary of Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. That's a lot of twos. And that being said, it is far from a guarantee that LEGO does anything special as far as a wave goes. And it's also important to say that just because they didn't do more than one set for Episode 1 in 2019 doesn't mean they won't do anything for Episode 2 in 2022 or Episode 3 in 2025. All of those sort of things are independent and not dependent on one another happening to occur themselves. And so while they may not brand it and put on the box 20th anniversary Attack of the Clones, I talked to my local meteorologist and he thinks it's going to be raining men this summer with clone troopers. I really think the crumbs are here for a Attack of the Clones subline for the summer wave. 3 or 4 sets. I'm going to predict 4 sets coming up right here. But basically, a few sets from Geonosis and then one kind of offshoot set that we are so long overdue for that they just have to do it, in my opinion. Another part of the reason I think Attack of the Clone sets are coming this summer is because of the minifig pack that they are just releasing in January of 2022. They did this in 2013. They released a clone pack. It was the only Episode 2 set in the January or first half of the year lineup for LEGO Star Wars that year. And then the summer came around and bang, a bunch of Episode 2 sets. And I really think we could see something similar here. And the other minifig pack for January, the Hoth Rebel Battle Pack, has a bunch of sets to go with. So why doesn't this one have a bunch of sets to go with? Well, the answer is they're coming, if my prediction holds true, of course. You see, 75332 is going to be a $30 set, and I could totally see that and predict it to be a Halfire Droid. I would expect it to be very similar to what we saw in 2015 build-wise. I definitely wouldn't want to downscale for upping the price $10, but I would like the minifigure selection to be bolstered. I would like 2 clone troopers this time around, along with a Geonosian battle droid and a super battle droid, which will give us a little bit more diversity there for our character lineup, so we can get a clone trooper that's like the lieutenant or the officer. Just please, if they include the yellow clone trooper in another set, I'm gonna go berserk. And then a regular clone trooper, and then, like I said, super battle droid, regular battle droid. Now, the next $30 set I would have pegged as something else, but something needs to fill the strong rumor that is the Republic fighter tank with Mace Windu and 2 of his purple clones. And I think 75333 at $30 makes the most sense to me. The last Republic fighter tank was $25. Much like the Halfire Droid, I don't see them changing the build all that much size-wise. I don't see them going back to 2008 levels of size with that fighter tank. They just don't really need to. And so because that Clone Trooper Commander was re-released, Mace Windu also has to be re-released. The way it's going is that they are going to release both of those figures in much cheaper sets so that they are not exclusive to the gunship, which doesn't make any sense to me because people weren't clamoring for those figures to begin with, but more power to them. And so you have to have a set for Mace Windu to fit into, and this is the set that to me makes the most sense that Mace Windu would be fitting into for 2022. Set number 75334 is said to be $50, and you're going to like this one, I think, or at least if it comes to fruition. So LEGO did this thing where they changed the color of the Fiat LEGO set. They had a yellow version, and then they also released a blue version kind of as a limited test run. And it has been in my head ever since this has happened, and I've been meaning to make a set ideas video on it, I just haven't gotten around to it. They can and definitely should totally apply this to color swapping LEGO Star Wars sets. And so if they took the currently available Boba Fett's Slave One and just recolored it with the Episode 2 color scheme and released it with different minifigs and box art, obviously, for the summer of 2022 at this $50 slot, the same price as the Boba Fett Slave One, it works, doesn't it? So we could get Jango Fett Slave 1, and as much as I would like a Kaminoan in the set, I just don't see it. I would just totally expect to get Jango Fett and Boba Fett, but those are definitely highly sought after figures right now, especially that Jango Fett has become very expensive on the secondary market, so I would look for LEGO to try and fill that gap here, especially in one of the years that would make the most sense for them to finally re-release another Jango Fett Slave 1. I mean, it's been 20 years since they've done one at this point, so it is definitely long overdue, and this is the price point that it makes the most sense at, so if it's going to happen, it's going to be this set. set. Otherwise, we're all going to be SOL on that front. Set number 75335 is a $100 set, and I, for the life of me, couldn't figure out what this could possibly end up being. But I theorized that it'll be something from the Bad Batch Season 2. The Bad Batch Season 1 only got one set, and I could see the Bad Batch Season 2 only getting one set. We definitely need a Phase 2 Rex, and Phase 2 Rex was in the Bad Batch. I could definitely see them doing some type of set based on the Mount Tantus base, because that seems like it's going to be a pretty critical thing in Season 2. We could see some of our Phase 3 troopers that look like this, or like this early prototype stormtrooper, whatever they are. They definitely need to make the Lego figure of them. And then certainly a Kaminoan would be nice. And Omega is definitely a figure that Lego has to make. To me, it would be incredibly odd to go the entire summer wave of 2022, a year and change after we knew about Omega without a Lego Omega figure. It just wouldn't make sense to me. So it's definitely due, and this is the set that I could see it coming in for 2022. Directly following that, there's another $100 set at 75336, and this is where we get back to the Geonosis part of the wave. I could see an ATTE here. I think an ATTE is one of those things that is, again, long overdue. Lego has just been sitting on it, and it is time to bring it back with that 20th anniversary looming. We have the clone pack already, like I said. That's going to bolster your forces for a set like this. And so that does mean that a set like this would lack minifigures. Like the last ATTE, my fundamental problem with some of these bigger Star Wars clone sets is that they don't include a lot of clone troopers. Like, it's like, here's one clone trooper for your ATTE. And it's funny, the 2013 ATTE had the same problem as the UCS Gunship. The yellow clone doubled as the pilot. I would expect 5 minifigs again, a couple Geonosian battle droids, maybe 2 regular clone troopers, and you'd have to get some sort of Jedi in there. Just pick your poison. But yeah, that ATTE could certainly prove to be a very popular and exciting summer set if it does come to fruition here as my prediction goes. And then the next set, perhaps the most exciting set of the summer wave, if my prediction comes to light here, set 75337 is said to be a $140 set, and I think it could be a Republic Gunship. You see, the last Republic Gunship was $120, and you definitely have to go up in price from there. I tried to think in my head how they could possibly downscale it, because I was originally going to say, oh, it'll be a $100 set, but I just can't see them downscaling the previous Gunship. So I would expect the design to stay relatively similar as far as the size goes. Obviously, they have many different pieces now that they could use to hopefully make the design look a little bit better, but, you know, similar size and therefore similar price, but of course inflation since 2013, and you're looking at about $140. It just makes sense to me. 6 minifigs, again, much like that 2013 version, would make the most sense. I would hope they don't even include battle droids. I don't want to waste slots on that. And I would say the selection for the set would look something like a clone pilot with the proper helmet. I think they have to do that. 2 regular clone troopers, or 1 regular clone trooper, and then like a red clone or a blue clone, whatever, just another one of those commander lieutenant guys, just not the yellow one again. I wouldn't mind getting the Obi-Wan, Anakin, Padme treatment again. I think that just works. It worked in the last one, and I don't see a reason to change it up here. A Republic Gunship, very much on the table for summer of 2022 as a playset. A lot of people will point to the UCS one and go, they can't do it. Well, currently there are UCS versions available of the AT-AT and the Millennium Falcon. There was previously the A-Wing with a playset A-Wing available. Like, all of these big sets also have playsets available at the same time. They are not mutually exclusive. At set number 75338 at $70, I'm predicting we get an Andor set. Andor is another one of the shows coming out in 2022, and I'm thinking, if anything from Andor, a U-Wing, like a slightly scaled down U-Wing from what we saw back in 2016. It was a great set, one that a lot of people seem to like now and have a lot of somewhat have nostalgia for, I guess, at this point, 5 years later. And it definitely makes the most sense, as it's probably the most iconic thing from Rogue One that they could bring into Andor and still use, and then, you know, Lego can make a set based off of. So I would guess a U-Wing with certainly Cassian Andor. God knows what other characters, maybe shore troopers and stuff, could be included in the set. That would be nice, because those figures are definitely harder to come by now. And I only say shore troopers because it's one of the leaked things that has come out about the show, that there are shore troopers there. Like, they were shown pictures of them on set at a beach or something somewhere. So those are definitely on the table for being in a Lego set here. Now, set 75339 is a set number that is skipped here, because that is a set that is going to be released, I believe, in May, and is probably the Death Star trash compactor. So yeah, check out my rumor video for more info on that. But 75340 is the next set number in our list here, and that, I believe, is going to be the Advent Calendar, based solely on the fact that it is the set set right before the UCS set for May in the order of set numbers, and last year the advent calendar came right before R2-D2, which was the UCS set for May. So I believe the advent calendar will be going up $5 in price for next year. And as much as I'd like them to keep doing it, I don't know what they would theme it off of if LEGO did a singular movie or show theme for their advent. So I would really just wager that it might have some stuff from Kenobi, it might have some stuff from Bad Batch, Book of Boba Fett. It might be more of a mix of Disney Plus content versus, you know, doing a bunch of original trilogy or prequel stuff. I would like to see a mix of Disney Plus content, and I think that's going to be the most likely thing. Now that leaves us with two sets after the $200 UCS set at $75342 and $75343. Those are $40 and $60 respectively. The $40 set I could see being a Kenobi versus Vader dual set, and that is definitely something that we saw in the concept art pop up recently, so we can only assume LEGO has had the opportunity to potentially work on this type of stuff for many months before we even saw it. And so Kenobi versus Vader, definitely a possible set at $40. And then for the $60 set, there's this piece of concept art that shows this ship that looks kind of like Krennic's shuttle, but without the big fin on the top. And I could definitely see this Inquisitor ship being a set at that $60 price tag. It wouldn't be all that exciting of a build, but certainly the minifigs with one of the Inquisitors, a couple of Stormtroopers that we see there in the concept art, those would be the no-brainer figs to me. And then possibly our fourth figure would be a Kenobi figure or Darth Vader figure or something. I would assume Kenobi because they're hunting down Kenobi, and maybe if Kenobi has like a friend that he meets in the show, they'd include that too. But that's what I'm expecting for that $60 set. So those are all 12 of my set predictions for LEGO Star Wars in the summer of 2022. Let me know your thoughts on my predictions and maybe your own predictions in the comments below. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.